Welcome into another edition of the Janesville Jets Coaches Show right here on the Big AM 1380, the BigAM1380.com, WBEL, your TuneIn radio app, or the AM 1380 app. You can get that on the Google Play Store if you've not done so yet. We will talk to Jeff Alderfer a little bit later on here, defenseman number 5 for the Janesville Jets. And we talk to the head coach now to lead things off as we do each and every edition of the show. Coach, another successful weekend.
It was a very fun weekend for us as well too. So
that's a very good thing. Back home here again this weekend. We'll get to those matchups in a little bit, but take us back to Keystone here this past weekend. The games with Keystone, I should say. 3-0 on Friday night, so a nice shutout win. You guys found the net a few times. Was that a pretty complete win? Take us back through that one.
Yeah, you know what? It was one of those nights too. We didn't rely on our special teams, which was very important for us because there's been times throughout the season that we've been relying on our power play. So for us to score 3 5-on-5 goals, it just to show the guys, or for them to show themselves, like, hey, we don't need to score and rely on that power play was nice. And they were good goals as well, going to the net. There was, a couple pretty goals, but ultimately it was goals they earned. And anytime you get goals that you earn and you deserve, it goes so much further than just going off a shin pad or something.
Yeah, I remember when we talked last week, take exception maybe isn't the right term, but you're not a fan of that style necessarily that Keystone plays. Were you able to do the things that you wanted to against that style?
Yeah, you know what? They didn't come out and trap and run what they ran against us the last time we played as much. They did at times, but there was times Friday night where they tried to go tick for tack with us, and at that point we were able to expose them, and they made some mistakes that we capitalized on. So Saturday night they came out and they were a little bit more defensive, as you probably saw in the shots. I think we outshot them 40-20 or 40-21. So they capitalized on their opportunities. They had 2 power play goals on Saturday night. So we weren't able to get after it as much as I would have liked on Saturday, just with them and the way the game started. So. But ultimately, we've got that second win on Saturday, so it was a good weekend.
A 4-3 win and a 3-0, as I mentioned, on Friday. So you guys win again, keep on cruising, and now 43 points in 30 games. You guys really take control here of the division, with more divisional games coming here your next 4. So that was a big weekend in terms of the standings so far.
Yeah, and we still have, with the Sioux in second place, we still have, I believe, 3 games in hand on them. So. Every game, especially in division, are so important for us in our standings, just because it is a logjam again, like it is every year in the North. So you never know what could happen. I mean, if there's a weekend that we have off, which isn't happening at all from here on out. So, but if the Sioux, when they get those weekends off, some of those other teams are going to start to catch them and us in points as well. So every point we can't afford to lose any, and that's the way we're going into every game as a do or die situation. It's the guys that were here last year, they remember that feeling in that first round of the playoffs, and that's not something they plan on going through again. So we're just playing every night, every shift, like it's do or die. It's play another night or go to the golf course, and we're not ready to golf yet.
Absolutely. 4 straight. Well, and we haven't even had winter yet, so I don't know that anybody's even ready for golf yet. We're still waiting to get through that. 4 straight versus Michigan here this weekend, and then some midweek games after the Christmas break here. So, what do you know about Michigan? You've not seen them yet this year.
Yeah, nothing. Just what we've watched on film, and and most teams are usually every year they're pretty similar. You know what you're going to get. He's coached at all levels, and he's a very good coach. So they're going to be very disciplined within their structure and their systems, and they're going to run some traps, and they're going to be passive at times. So. Even though we haven't played them or watched a ton of film on them yet until this week, we're pretty confident and know what they're going to bring to the table. And for us, we're just going to worry about ourselves and what we're doing and continue to push forward.
Is Michigan a team you could compare to a Keystone, or is there someone else you've played that you're able to say, here are some tendencies that are kind of along the same lines?
Yeah, you know what? It's I don't want to say they're similar to anybody, because I mean, Mole, the way he recruits his teams, they're kind of like a pro style, big, physical, they move pucks, they'll capitalize on their opportunities on mistakes, but there's nobody else we've really played. I mean, Keystone's defensive, but they're not very big and physical. They run a trap, and sit back. And the other teams, Austin and Cooley's, they have lines that can get after you and put the puck in your net real quick and very, very skilled. So Mo's going to be something we haven't seen yet, and it'll be interesting to see how we pair up. I mean, we're not the most physical hockey team that the fans seen or that we play against, but we're not afraid of it by any means, and we'll have to show that on Friday and Saturday.
This Michigan team, 12, 13, and 7. A lot of overtime losses this team has suffered, which means first thing that I think of is they've been in every game they're playing. They're not getting blown out. Is that something that you've kind of seen?
Exactly. I mean, he has good goaltending, good veteran decor, everything. So their record. You can't go off the record to say what type of hockey team they are, and if we did that, we'd probably get pounded Friday night. So.
Wouldn't be a good way to approach things.
No.
Any sort of, I know last time we talked, there were some shifts in terms of your roster with goalies and that. Anything new to update us on in that regard?
No, we just got Blake Wayrick, our new goaltender from Tri-City, actually today. Yesterday was his first day with us, getting into Janesville from Nebraska. So that's the only real addition right now. We sent one guy out of Janesville up to Canada. We traded a kid to the CCHL, and Dante Suffredini, he's no longer with the team. So Drew Callan should hopefully have the green light to go again, get back on the ice this weekend. So he's been out, I believe, for 5-6 weeks. So he's our captain. He's the heart and soul of this hockey team. So it'll be good to get him back as well.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for him too. I remember sitting here talking with him amidst the injury here within the last few weeks, and you could tell that he's in good spirits. He's got that good attitude about it, but players want to play, and so that frustration just continues to mount over time.
Yeah, you know what, and I commend Drew for the way he's handled it. He's been very positive. I mean, there's been no poor me, no pouting, anything like that. He's at the rink still. He's filling water bottles for the guys. He's sitting in on video sessions. He's at every practice, still doing his rehab. So, he's there probably more now that he's injured than he was, when he wasn't injured. He's more, at the rink and things like that earlier. And he's doing all the little things and the extra things for the guys so they don't have to worry about it while he's out. And that's why he's our captain.
Joe Dibble, head coach of the Janesville Jets, with us here, Janesville Jets Coaches Show. And we've got a lot going on this weekend with the Jets. The family 4-pack you can do this weekend. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas for just $25. Add a couple beers, Miller High Life, Miller High Life. For $5 more, you can get a couple beers added onto that. I believe this is happening the 30th, the 31st as well. Teacher Appreciation Night on Friday, Ugly Sweater Party, and then Saturday is Superhero Night. We'll talk about some of that stuff with Jeff Alderfer a little bit later on here in the show. What can you tell us about Jeff before we have the chance to talk with him?
Yeah, Jeff. He's coming back to us. He played for us a little bit last year before he went up to Dubuque in the USHL. So he's a shutdown, steady Eddie, responsible defensive D-man. He's the type of guy that you have to have on your club. He's going to go out there. He's going to kill penalties for you. He's never going to put you in a situation where you're going to give up odd man rushes or anything like that. So very responsible as far as in the locker room, character-wise. He's like the rest of our team. He fits in. His character's off the charts, and he's having fun, and he loves the sport. And he's just one of those kids when you meet him, and even when you talk to him, you're going, okay, yeah, you can come to my house. So
those type of defensemen, especially on your roster where you've got a lot of guys that are pushing both ends of the ice. You mentioned it's a position you've got to have out there. People probably enjoy watching that out there on the rink, don't they? That's type of guy who is going to make the plays.
Yeah, and for him, he brings a physical aspect to the game as well too. He's going to step up in the neutral zone, and he's going to put guys on their back, and they'll be counting ceiling tiles there and whatnot too. So he brings an exciting piece to the puzzle for the crowd as well.
And I'll bet your goalies like him too, because he's probably getting people out of the crease and getting them out of his way.
Oh yeah, they have to rely on each other back there. So
let's talk here about the holiday. What are you guys doing here for the break? How are you going to address that with some midweek stuff coming up in a week and a half?
Yeah, so our guys we play Friday, Saturday. The guys that are driving, we give them anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. I think we say they can drive after the game. The guys that'll fly leave Sunday, Sunday morning. So they'll get the entire week, get 7 days. I believe they come back on the 27th, and we'll practice those couple days before we play. The guys, all of them are going home. Even one of our players from Sweden is flying back to Sweden for a few days. So it'll be good for those guys. And then Coach and I believe I'm in Minnesota for 3 days for the Christmas tournaments, and then I'll be in Chicago for 2 days for the midget tournaments, the AAA stuff, and then probably Michigan for a day or two, recruiting the stuff over there.
No rest for the weary. So the players get a little vacay, and you and the staff just continue right along. Huh?
Yeah, we get Christmas Day is usually what we get. So it's good for us, though, too, to get out and identify the player pools and find the future Jets. So we still can't sleep on that.
Are there any transactions that generally take place from this stuff? Do you end up maybe finding a player or two that is going to be a Jet this year yet when you go out to these Christmas tournaments?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's you never know what the situations are with these players, and especially in high school hockey in Minnesota and Wisconsin. It's some kids, if their team is mathematically eliminated from playoffs, their seasons will be over soon. So they might want to say, okay, I can get an extra 20 games in on the year. And think about leaving high school, and then they come transfer here, and they'll finish their high school out in Janesville and finish the season with us. So we're actually right now we're potentially working on that with a kid right now out of he's playing in Colorado. So
are we looking at a winger, center, defenseman?
Yeah, he's a forward. He's a forward. So our numbers right now, I think we're sitting at 13 forwards. So we need to find one more.
Is there, and this comes from, me having been more familiar with NHL for a longer time than I was, familiar with the Jets and the NAHL. I've noticed that everybody's either forward or defenseman. Players aren't really labeled as wingers or centers. Is that because guys shift around, or is that just...
A little bit like on the scout sheets or the line charts that we put out at games is where we'll list, winger, center, anything like that. But for us, we don't usually use you're a center, you're a winger. In the game, it's, you have to know all positions, especially in junior hockey. Like for an example, it's coming back into your D zone on a transition. It's the first forward. It may be a left wing, but he's going to have to play the center position until the puck breaks out. So you're going to change positions all the time throughout the year. So you could end up on defense as a forward. So you never know. Fair
enough. And before we know it, goaltenders will be firing pucks at the net, right?
You never know.
So the break here. So you've got, let's see, the games this weekend with Michigan, and then basically a week off for the guys, and then practices Saturday, Sunday. Will you guys get work in Monday? Because I believe it's Tuesday, Wednesday then that you guys are playing, right?
Yep. We'll skate all 3 days. The night of the 27th, the guys will have just a kind of get out on the ice, have a little fun, just getting back with the guys, and Coach and I will just sit in the stands and just watch and let them have a little bit of fun for an hour, and then we'll ramp it up for 2 days and we'll get on the ice that first night against Michigan.
That'll probably be, I imagine that'll probably be nice to have Michigan coming out of that, because they'd be freshest in your mind. And will that be a nice thing for you guys to come back with that team you closed out with?
Yeah, and their travel's a lot more too as well. They've got to come to Janesville, go back, and then their kids have to, whether they're getting in their cars or getting on airplanes or driving to the airport. So their travel schedule is going to be pretty hectic there for that week. And for us, we're home both weekends, so our guys only have to, go home from Janesville. That's it.
That's nice, too, especially since you guys got abused with the schedule a little bit earlier this year, so not a bad thing. This team is playing very good hockey, and they're winning hockey games. They're sweeping weekends. We've seen that multiple times. What sort of things need to get better, though?
You know what? I've been saying it all year, and it's something we're still working on. It's just our starts. I think this weekend we took some big steps in the right direction as far as the way we were starting our hockey games. So, we have to continue to stay disciplined, and ultimately, for me, I think the biggest thing is we have to continue to have fun. Right now, the guys they're having a heck of a lot of fun. They love coming to the rink, and you see it when you walk in. And at this point in the year is where you're going. Usually with the Christmas break coming up, it's guys are they're chomping at the bit to go home. And for us, I haven't seen that yet. And even today at practice, it's a pretty special group. And you know what? Everything about this year has been fun so far, and it's something we just have to continue with. So the fun is the biggest part for me. If they're having fun, they're working hard, and they don't realize it, but they are. And once you take the fun out of it and make it a job for these players, and they're still kids, and that's what we have to remember. And we're part of their development stage, so it's keeping that the light atmosphere. I think for us, we're just rolling with the waves right now, and we're getting better with it. That's the thing, and pushing each other. So,
and what you just mentioned in terms of they don't feel like they're coming to work, and they're enjoying what they're doing, and at the same time, like they're maybe not realizing at the time, but yeah, they're busting their tails in there, but they're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, we have kids that will come in and skate with us or practice with us for a couple days, and we've got 2 kids in here today that are practicing with us. One's from Colorado, and the other one's from Illinois, and both of them after practice are going, holy cow! I mean, this was one of the most up tempo, quickest practices we've been a part of, and then the one kid, one of the players, that he kind of chuckled and he said, and your guys just laugh and giggle the whole time, and they don't even realize. He's like, I can barely breathe. So it's fun even when those new guys come in, it's good for us to hear as a staff, because I think it's been so contagious with us in our locker room, and it's been so consistent on the level and the way the atmosphere is in practice and how intense it is. And it's just something, it's like an everyday thing for our guys now, and they don't even realize it. So it's fun.
Is that something that, and the way things are going right now, this certainly looks like a playoff hockey team. There's a lot of hockey left, but is the fact that they're able to go out there and enjoy practice and as you said, not sucking wind like maybe somebody else coming in there does, will that be a benefit to you? Will that be maybe a difference maker come playoff time?
Yeah, because I don't think any of them want to go home. I think it's one of these years and one of these teams where I feel like if any one of us could kind of hit repeat or replay, I think we would hit it. And as a coach, we look at it as a staff and we just go, hey, you know what? We're just a part of something pretty special that these guys are doing. So I think for us, it's going to be, they don't want to quit on each other because they want to eat up as much time with each other as they possibly can. So, yeah, I mean, we're just going to want to continue to hit the replay button weekend after weekend.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to know, and this goes for every sport and everything. You get older and you didn't realize at the time how much you'll miss those little things, and I think whenever I get into a high school gym to call a basketball game, I'm right back at practice or with the guys on the bus, and it's something that obviously you've captured with this group, so it's been a very good thing.
And they all know it's going to come to an end. They all know they're going to be playing on different hockey teams when they go off to college and whatnot. So to be a part of something that they're a part of right now, they know it could be the last time that they're a part of something like this. So it's pretty special.
Talking with Joe Dibble, head coach of the Janesville Jets, the Janesville Jets Coaches Show. Again, home this weekend, Friday, Saturday, down at the Janesville Ice Arena, JanesvilleJets.com. Get your tickets there, including the family 4-pack, 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas for just $25. Coach, thank you again for the time here. Best of luck this weekend, and a Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hope it's a good holiday.
Thank you. Same to you guys.
We'll talk to you again in January here. We'll step aside, and we'll be hearing from Jeff Alderfer here, number 5 defenseman for the Janesville Jets, when we continue right here on the Janesville Jets Coaches Show, the Big AM 1380. Welcome back into the Janesville Jets Coaches Show right here on the Big AM 1380, the Big AM 1380.com. Cruising through it here. The voice isn't doing me too many favors today, but we're pushing through. We're making our way through. We heard from the head coach, Joe Dibble, and now we will hear from defenseman number 5 on the sweater, Jeff Alderfer. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us here on the show this week. You, like a few different teammates, are a Pennsylvania native. Did any of you guys know each other out east before getting out this way?
No, we did not. To be honest, no.
I suppose it's a big enough state. Probably a lot of places you could have lived. You guys were out in Johnstone not too long ago. Was family, friends, anybody out there able to come see that? Were you fairly close to there?
Yeah, it was awesome. My house is about 4 hours east. So my sister, my mom and dad came out, and it was on Thanksgiving, so got to spend Thanksgiving with them, so it was perfect. Excellent.
Yeah, it's a nice you travel all over the place here, so it's probably nice to be able to get in front of some familiar faces now and again. Talk about your hockey background. How did you get started in it? How long you been playing, that sort of thing?
Let's see. My mom actually brought me down to a pond when I was about 3 years old, and I started skating with my brother and pretty much kind of followed him throughout my hockey career. Started playing juniors. This is my 5th year. Played on the East Coast for 3 years. Been in pretty much every junior league.
Okay.
And then ended up here last year for half a year, and then went to Dubuque for half a year, and now I'm back.
Back and forth. A couple players have kind of been back and forth here with Janesville, so there's familiarity for you this year coming back in.
Yeah, knew a good amount of guys coming back, and it was nice.
It's got to make it a more comfortable situation when you're somewhere else and then come back here. What did your brother play? Was he a defenseman as well?
Yeah, he was a defenseman for a little while, and then he ended up having to move up to forward. One of his coaches said he'd be a better forward, so he ended up moving up.
Do you see yourself sticking at defense here throughout your career, or kind of wherever?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Much more of a defensive kind of player then. And
Oh, yeah.
You have a number of defenders, and I know that with Coach Dibble's style, he wants guys to be two-way players. A lot of guys, so he also needs guys that stick in the defensive zone. So you're one of those guys then?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely me. I'm not going to be the guy who goes out and score goals, that's for sure.
Well, you do have a couple. I saw an assist and a point here, an assist and a goal in the last couple games here. Big wins over Keystone this past weekend. Those were pretty big for you guys.
Yeah, they gave us a bigger lead over the Sioux there in our conference, so it was nice.
A shutout, you always have to be obviously goaltenders love shutouts because that looks really good for them. But as a defenseman, you have to take a lot of pride in that, I imagine.
Yeah, of course, it's nice. Help him get that shutout, helps him look good, makes the team look good.
Are you a defenseman who does a lot with his stick? Are you more of a physical, body-on-body kind of defenseman? Are you getting into lanes? What's your style there?
I'd say I'm probably more the body kind of guy. I like to hit.
Are you in charge of clearing bodies away from the front of the net so your netminder can see what's happening?
Yeah, I hear that a lot from the bench. Move guys, but yeah.
All right. Jeff Alderfer with us here, defenseman number 5 for the Janesville Jets. What would you say are some of the biggest strengths of your game?
Probably be reliable in the D zone, getting pucks out, moving pucks quick.
That's I think that's something that a lot of people underrate when they watch hockey, and that is the consistency on that back end, being able to make sure that loose pucks don't remain loose pucks.
Yeah, I've been told a lot. Going unnoticed isn't a bad thing. So,
in terms of the areas of growth, what sort of things has Coach Dibble talked with you about? Maybe coaches you've had in the past. What are the areas that you're looking to improve upon?
They've been helping me a lot in my offensive game. Like I've been getting a couple more points more than usual. So yeah, they've been helping me a lot with that, and it's been working.
What will be next for you after the Jets here, after junior hockey? What do you have anything you're looking at in terms of schools and that next level?
Hopefully I'd like to play hockey in college, of course. Hopefully closer to home and get a degree and go from there, I guess.
Any idea what you want to study in college?
Mechanical engineering.
Okay. All right. So you're the smartest guy in the room already. That's excellent. I studied radio, and they gave me a microphone, and I talk for a living, so it's not a bad gig here. Compare this year to your last time in Janesville here when you were here for part of the season. How's this year been different for you?
I feel like a lot more guys want to be here every day. Everyone's working hard. A lot more skilled, I think. So we're doing well. I like it.
It's been a very good year for you guys. 21-8-1, 43 points in 30 games. That's a pretty nice mark for you guys. And again, on the defensive end, I've talked to a number of defensemen here, and it seems that you guys are giving up just over 2 goals a game. That's a pretty impressive number.
Yeah, Coach Largen's been stressing to us have less than 25 shots a game, and we've been doing our best to try to keep it that way and keep away the grade A chances.
Let's go on to some of the other things here. The Jets very active in the community. You guys, that's been a mainstay since day one. But I think under Coach Dibble, it's grown even more with Natalie Toby here now as well. What are some of the favorite things that you've done and the team has done in the community?
Well, we do a lot of bell ringing. We do a lot of stuff with younger kids. I did once a week. I would go to an elementary school and do junior achievements with kids, first graders, and it was pretty fun.
Excellent. What some of the other stuff here? What in terms of your iPod? What's on there most often? What are you listening to most frequently?
Listen to a lot of country.
Okay, all right. That's the stock answer for this team.
Yeah.
A lot of country listeners.
It's a Pennsylvania thing, I guess.
It must be. How about your top movies here? I'm sure sports movie. I could venture a guess that maybe it's Miracle.
It's up there, but I like the new Interstellar movie. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Excellent. I haven't seen that one yet. I've heard some good things. How about TV shows? What sort of shows are you addicted to or binge watching?
Oh, I've watched a lot of shows on Netflix. Favorite would probably have to go with Dexter.
That's I'm intimidated by that because there's so many episodes.
Yeah, it was good.
It's that one's sitting there on my list, but I haven't gotten to it yet. What are you doing when you're not playing hockey?
Probably just hanging out with guys on the team. Fishing. I love to fish. I love being outdoors.
Is that something growing up you did a lot of? Was the outdoor stuff?
Yeah, I've spent more time outdoors than I have indoors probably growing up.
All right, that's excellent. Jeff Alderfer with us here. What sort of things the rest of the year as a team then? What sort of things as a team do you guys need to continue to do or improve upon to keep that standing where it's at and get that good playoff positioning?
I think if we just tighten up a little bit more in the D zone, do all our little jobs, we getting in lanes, blocking shots, we'll be in the Final Four, hopefully Final Two.
Well, you guys have been very good here so far this year. Wins over Keystone this past weekend, a couple of them. You guys see Michigan 4 straight times. You haven't seen them yet this year. What do you know about this club?
I heard that they're same as every year from day one. They've been playing the same way. Nice, relaxed kind of structure, but they're real disciplined in what they do. So hopefully see how it goes and get a couple more wins.
Excellent. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you coming in, spending some time with us here today, and good luck here this weekend and the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. It's number 5, Jeff Alderfer here, defenseman for the Janesville Jets Coaches Show. Don't forget, again, the holiday 4-pack, the family 4-pack. You can get that for games this weekend. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas for $25. You can do that this weekend and then later on this month as well. It is a you can add 2 beers. I forgot to mention that too. You add a couple beers, Miller Lite, Miller High Life for $5. Teacher Appreciation Night on Friday, Ugly Sweater Party on Friday, and then Saturday is Superhero Night. Do you have an all-time top favorite superhero of all time? I've always been more of a Batman guy myself because of all of his sweet tools and gadgets he has, but
I'd have to go with that too.
Okay,
cool.
Excellent. I think Wolverine would probably be the ultimate for me, but I don't know if he counts as a superhero or not.
He doesn't have the cool cars and bikes and
That's
stuff.
true. Very true. Again, that's Jeff Alderfer. We talked to Joe Dibble a little while ago. I want to thank them both for the time here this evening, and we'll be back here a little bit later on into January. We'll be back with another edition of the show. It's the Janesville Jets Coaches Show on the Big AM 1380. Thank you for listening.